She got her first ever review before she'd ever opened the doors, before a single paying member, before launch. 2 stars. Too expensive, not worth the value. From someone who found the half-built version of her membership 5 classes in, still under construction, and decided that was enough to rate her on. And here's the thing that actually gets me about her, because that's not even the part of her story I want to talk about today. The part I want to talk about is what she was doing instead of the thing that would have actually grown her business. She was waiting to be ready. Today, I want to talk to you about the single most valuable thing you own that you are probably ignoring to some degree. Not because you don't know it matters. You know it matters. Everyone's told you that. You're ignoring it because of something quieter than that. And by the end of this, I think you'll stop trying to build the thing everyone tells you to build and start doing the one thing that actually makes it worth anything. Because right now, it's dying while you wait. So back to her. She's a Pilates instructor, genuinely great at what she does, and decided correctly that she needed to build an email list, which is smart. Everyone told her the same thing: grow the list, own your audience. The algorithm can turn on you overnight, but the list is yours. So what did she do with that advice? She started getting ready. She was going to film the perfect lead magnet, a whole free video series, beautifully shot, scripted, edited, and until that was done, until it was perfect, she wasn't going to ask anyone for their email, because how could she? She didn't have the thing to give them yet. And months went by, months. And the list didn't grow because the list didn't exist, because the perfect reason to start it wasn't finished. And when a coach on our team finally got her to look at it straight, the thing that broke the logjam was one sentence: done is better than perfect. Anything you can do to generate emails right now is going to be beneficial. And she felt that. It landed, because underneath the beautiful lead magnet plan was the actual truth, is that she was scared, not of the filming, but of the act. So hold on to her, because we're going to come back to her. Now, let's talk about why everyone, me included, won't stop talking about the email list. The numbers are genuinely insane. The most quoted one, email marketing returns something like $36 for every $1 you put in. 36 to 1. And email converts a few times better than social for selling digital products. Your Instagram can get throttled tomorrow. YouTube can change the rules on a Tuesday, but the inbox is a direct line to a human being who has raised their hand and said, please talk to me. Every creator I know who's built something real will tell you the same thing. Their list was the engine. So here's the strange part. If it's that obvious, if everyone knows this, why does almost every creator I get on a call with have an email list that's kind of like a graveyard? A few hundred people, sometimes a few thousand, sitting in a database, not emailed in months, sometimes ever. And that's the thing I want to hand you today. And I want you to actually let it land, because it's going to contradict the advice you've been swimming in. You don't have a list building problem. You have a list you're ghosting. The advice was never wrong. Build your list is true. It's just the wrong verb, and it's aimed at the wrong problem, because for most of you, the problem was never getting people onto the list. The problem is that you're too scared to talk to the ones who are already there. Let me say the thing nobody says when they hand you a build the list piece of advice. The list is not the asset. The sending is the asset. A name and an email address sitting in a database does nothing. It generates $0 of that 36 to 1. It's potential energy, and potential energy that never moves is just a spreadsheet. So here's how I want you to hold it. An email list of 200 people you actually write to is worth more than a list of 2,000 you're too nervous to touch every time. And it's not close, because the 2,000 have forgotten who you are. And I don't mean that as a feeling. I mean it literally. There's a benchmark in the email world that if your open rate falls below 30%, the diagnosis usually isn't your subject lines. It's that you've gone quiet for so long that people genuinely don't remember signing up. A silent list doesn't stay a list. It decays into a room full of strangers who once briefly liked you and knew who you were. So when you tell me your goal this quarter is to grow my email list, I want to gently ask you, grow it to do what? If you're not sending to the list you have, a bigger list is just a bigger silence. So why don't we send? It's not the tech, let's be honest about that, because I need to set up the automation, and I need to build the funnel, and I need to get the lead magnet right first. Those are all real tasks, and they're also excellent places to hide. The real reason is quieter. And I want to name it, because I think naming it is half the cure. The real reason is a small voice that says, who am I to land in someone's inbox? What do I even have to say that's worth interrupting their day? What if they read it and think it's dumb? What if they unsubscribe? What if I send it and nothing? Just silence. That's the block. It's not software. The software's fine. You're scared, and that's not a character flaw. It's just what it feels like to put yourself in front of people who can judge you, which is exactly what our Pilates instructor was doing. The perfect lead magnet wasn't a marketing strategy. It was a shield. As long as it wasn't finished, she never had to do the hard, scary part, which is send something to a real human and see what they think. The beautiful video was a very sophisticated way of not sending the email. Now, if you're sitting there going, well, this is nice, but I literally have nobody on my list yet. I have 12 people and 4 of them are my family. Good. Really. You have the easiest version of this entire problem because you have nothing to lose and no bad habit to break. Stay with me because everything I'm about to say is easier for you, not harder. And whatever size your list is, 12 or 12,000, I'm going to give you at the end the one single email you can send this week, which is not a sequence, not a funnel, one email, and it beats spending another month on the perfect lead magnet. And I'll tell you exactly why. So don't drift on me because that's the payoff. Just hold until the very end. And I want to tell you something, and I want to tell it to you straight because I'd be a hypocrite to stand here and diagnose your fear like I have never had it. When I started the Growth Memo, my weekly email, the list was and still is fairly tiny. And I would write the thing, then I would just sit with my cursor on the send button and just not click it. Because the second I clicked it, it was real. Someone was going to open it, or worse, no one was. And I remember the voice in my head saying, who do you think you are, showing up in their inboxes like you've got something they need to hear. And here's the reason there's a Growth Memo today. The only reason it's worth anything is because I kept clicking send anyway. Badly at first. To almost no one at first. The early ones weren't great, but the list became an asset the week I stopped treating it like a thing to build and started treating it like people to talk to. And honestly, that's still what the Growth Memo is. Every week I send one email to a bunch of creators trying to figure this out. And I was terrified of it for so long. And now it's my favorite thing I make. If you want to see the thing I'm describing actually in practice, what it looks like to just show up in an inbox every week and say one true thing you can get on the list. It's free. I'll tell you where at the end, but that's the relationship I'm talking about. And you can watch me do it. Now, let me close the door. Let me close the loop on our instructor because there's a second half to her story, and it's the part that hopefully will set you free. Because remember that 2-star review, the one she got before she even launched on the half-built version from someone who wasn't even a customer? Here's why I love that story, because she was waiting to be ready, waiting for the work to be polished enough that it couldn't be judged. And the universe, with perfect comedic timing, judged her anyway, early, unfairly, and before she was done, which is the actual truth about Ready. There is no version of Ready that protects you from being seen. The 2-star review was going to come whether she waited 6 months or not. The perfect lead magnet would not have prevented it. All the waiting bought her was less time in the game. So the fantasy of I'll email them once I'm ready, once it's good enough, once I won't embarrass myself, that fantasy is not protecting you. It's costing you months where you could have been building the thing that compounds, a relationship with the people who have already raised their hand. Ready is a trap. In touch beats ready. Okay, and here's the work. Just one thing, not the 30-day plan, not the funnel, not the automation. One email this week, and here it is. Whatever list you have, 12 people, 200, 2,000 who have forgotten you, you're going to write them an email. And it's not a pitch. You're not selling anything. There's no discount, no limited time, no link to buy. You're just going to send them the email our Pilates instructor was too scared to send. You're going to tell them one true thing, and here's the shape of it. Tell them why you started, a short story. The moment you decided this work mattered enough to build this whole thing around it, then tell them one belief you hold about them and the change they're trying to make in their own life. That's it. No ask, maybe a single line at the end that says, I'm going to start showing up in your inbox again. I've missed it. That email does something that no lead magnet can do. It restarts the relationship. It reminds the 2,000 who you are. And for the 12, it starts the habit that turns 12 into something real. It is unghosting. That's the email that beats the perfect lead magnet, because a lead magnet gets you a new stranger's email address. This turns the addresses you have back into people. One of those is potential. The other is a relationship. Send the email this week before the perfect version of anything is ready. Our instructor did eventually send her first email, not the perfect video, just a note to the small list she'd been too scared to start. And people wrote back, because it turns out the people who give you their email address aren't a jury waiting to rank you or rate you. They're just people who liked you and are quietly hoping you'll say hello again. That's your list, not an asset to accumulate, not a number to grow, a room of people who raise their hand. So go say hi this week in one email. And when you've sent it, when you've done the scary part first, then go build the system properly. I've put together the whole thing, a build your email list playbook, every step, the setup, the lead magnet, the sequences, the numbers to watch. It's free. It's in the show notes and it goes out in the growth memo list. But notice the order, send the email first. The playbook is for after you've proven to yourself you can hit send. The system was never the hard part. That was. This is Better Days. Go get in touch.